Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria,
And I'm Rosetta.
and thank you all for joining us once again for a chat. We always like to start with words of encouragement. Be grateful, be kind, be loving, be caring. If you can just walk in the light of that, I promise you, you will have a wonderful, blessed day.
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder, Gloria. And as you can see, everyone, we are not together today, but
No.
we are together. So
We're
in a
together
different
in
way.
heart and spirit.
Yes, exactly. But we're still coming to you today with our lovely chats. And before we get going, we just want to remind you, if you love our videos, which I hope you do, please hit that thumb icon. And that tells us that you watched our video and like it and subscribe to our channel below. And you can hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our chats. Oh, where's my bell? Well, anyway, ding, 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 bell. Hit that bell icon. All right. What teas are we drinking? And what I like about doing our chats virtually is that we get to present two different teas, which I really like. So the tea that I have today is by a company called Numi Organic Tea Turmeric 3 Roots. There you go. You can see that.
Nice.
And
Yes.
with ginger, licorice, my favorite, and rose. And the ingredients are organic turmeric, organic ginger, organic licorice, and organic rose. There you have it. Simple as that. And I've had
I
it,
love it.
yes, I've had it seeping here, and I'm going to do cheers, and Gloria's going to tell you what tea she's drinking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells wonderful. And I'm drinking Loyds. Oh, look, you can see the whole box. I'm so impressed. Loyds juicy lemon with ginger and honey. I
Ginger?
mean, ginger, like you, and honey. And the ingredients are tiny, 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 tiny. They are they are lemon, rooibos, green tea, lemon peel, lemongrass, black pepper, ding 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 ding, dried honey powder, honey. That's it.
Well, you have black pepper, which I need because I have turmeric and they didn't put black pepper in it. But you need my
Yes,
turmeric because you have black pepper.
I know. So together our combination is perfect.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. I'm going to bring this to the studio. You've got to taste this. It is amazing. It's very, very yummy. Yummy,
Yes,
yummy.
you've had it many times and I've never tried it.
Yes, well, we'll kick it off next week when we're together. Yummy. So, as we always begin, our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire human and animal universe, to the whole universe. There's so much going on, lots of activities, lots of comings and goings. And we just want to have a more loving, kind, peaceful time. So I hope you agree with us that we want a kind planet where we are loving and kind to one another. That's important. So let's get busy and have some fun. The Golden Bachelor is coming up, and they've been teasing us for weeks, showing us the gentleman. He's 70, he's very good looking. And now they're showing the women who are going to be on his season. I don't think they're going to be playing like the young women do. I hope not. What do you think, Rosetta?
No, I don't think so, because at a certain age, you start to realize what's more important to you in your life, and you're not in that kind of experimental phase. You've been there, you've done that, and when you're looking for a relationship when you're later in life, you're like, let's get straight to the point and get to it. So that's what I really
Right.
like. And this new Golden Bachelor season, it's very different because have you noticed in the other Bachelor and Bachelorettes, they don't show you all the contestants. Well, I call them contestants,
Yes.
all the
Yes.
bachelors or bachelorettes. So this one is unique.
Yes.
And I was watching the little snippet of them, and all of a sudden I see someone that looks very similar to Kris Jenner. I was like, what? But it's not Kris
Yes.
Jenner because you can tell. But what I liked is
Right.
that she's got the short black hair like Kris, and she looked like she keeps herself very nicely. You know, her face is very nicely done. Like she aged gracefully. So just like Kris Jenner, well, Kris Jenner's had a few, things done to her, but this lady looks good. And
Procedures.
yes, yes. And you can see from this lady, if you do a quick look, she kind of looks like Kris Jenner. So when it comes on,
Yeah.
watch out for someone that looks a bit like Kris Jenner, and you be the judge of it and let me know.
Yes. Well, the ladies look very healthy and their dresses are very sexy. And I love how they proudly say, I'm 68, I'm 65. I'm like, you go, girl. You give us all
Yay!
inspiration.
Yep.
So Rosetta and I will be checking it out and we will keep you attuned. So Tuesday, I almost said Monday. Monday was the holiday, Labor Day. Tuesday was the 27th kickoff for The View. Our girl Whoopi wasn't there because she's got COVID. Joy said that she's healing really well and she expects she might even be back before the end of the week. So Whoopi, we hope you're feeling good because we can't wait to hear what you think about what's been going on while you ladies were on vacation.
Yeah, they had a great time going back to the things that we saw, but they were on vacations. They couldn't really discuss it. So they were talking about all sorts of things and yeah, very, very interesting take on all the different hot topics. And
Yes.
27 seasons. I can't believe it. Whoopi said, not Whoopi, Joy says she's been on every season except two of them.
Two. Yes. And I love how Joy is beautiful. She tells people, she goes, I didn't quit. I was fired. And
Yeah.
so even Tuesday, she said, I have been on every season at this desk except for two. And that's when they canned me. I mean,
Yeah.
she's so cute.
She's so cute. But I like
Yeah.
Joy and she's a great sub when Whoopi's out.
Yes, she is. And I love the fact that Alyssa got excited to see her face on a mug. And she said, I've never been on a mug before. So that was really sweet and very cute. I love the fact that, there's been lots of, individuals in Alyssa's seat in the past. I think that she does a really good job of making you stop and think. Like when she said the situation, how if they can't figure out how to get a dedicated GOP person by, what is that? My brain is saying Happy Tuesday. It's not Happy Tuesday, but there's a voting attribute
Yes,
that's a
yes. I know
Tuesday.
what you mean.
And
I'm trying to think of what it is. It's called
Super Tuesday,
Super
Super
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That's it.
Yes, if they haven't gotten someone other than the previous president, she said that it'll be all banks off. And at this point, Joy says to the world, please don't reelect him. Please don't do that to the citizens of the United States. She goes, I'm begging you, please don't. And I'm also begging you, let's not go backwards, let's go forward. You know, we've seen that whole situation and it's time for a new beginning. And I'm looking forward to them also talking about, what's going on with the health of some of the members of Congress, because Mitch McConnell froze again. And, Joy was talking about, if they won't let us retire people when they have to retire because they're holding the seat hostage. I'm just like, how did we get here with all this negativity? However, please be aware, the girls of The View, they will bring it to us. They will tell us everything we need to know.
Yes, they will.
So like I mentioned, Monday was Labor Day. And there are two traditions that happen Labor Day weekend. One is the barbecue cook-off in Sparks, Nevada. And second is Burning Man. Now, I've always gone to the rib cook-off. I love the rib cook-off. They have, like 50, 60 vendors from all over the world, and they barbecue ribs. And you get to buy them, of course. You buy them, you taste them, and then you get to vote on what you think is the best rib. There's a gentleman, they're called Augies, and it's Australian ribs, juicy, tender. There is, I'm trying to think, there's one that, Back 40 is local, Northern California. They're out of the Pleasant Hill area, which is really close to Walnut Creek. They do an amazing rib, and they usually, every year, they win People's Choice because they're sweet, they're kind, they're loving. They give you a good portion for the value. So I don't know how that happened this weekend. I do know that Burning Man was a burning mess. So what happened is the land it's a desert, it's flat. They get about 70,000 people that come and travel. And what happened is all of a sudden it started to rain. Now, if you're in the desert and it's raining, there's no drainage or nothing like that. So the water just runs. And the water ran the first night, and a lot of people were stuck. The cars, people couldn't get their cars out. You didn't have an SUV, four-wheel drive, you couldn't get out. So we had all that going on, and then they got another night of rain. So then it becomes a sloppy, slushy mess, just a mess. So now people are stuck. They were stuck up until some of them started moving out Tuesday. However, they still did the Burning Man. Their porta potties were full and overflowing. They told people to shelter in place, to reserve their food and water. I saw Chris Rock on the back of a truck where somebody was trying to rescue him and get him out of there. And with all of that, those people said that they would still do it again. I don't think so. Not me.
Crazy, crazy. And I'm wondering, what was Chris Rock doing there? He was with Diplo and Cyndi Lauper and someone else, and they had been walking for a minute until someone
Yeah,
noticed
gave him a
Diplo and said,
ride.
Hey, stop, there's Diplo. And Chris Rock is with them. And I didn't
Yeah.
even know that Cyndi Lauper was there. I don't even know what they were doing. But then come to find out that they were supposed to have been performing there.
Well,
So
apparently this is something that they do every year, and I hear about it, but like when you're on your way home and people are leaving there and they're on their way home, because the path back to Northern California, there's just two routes. So if they've been there and you've been to the cook-off, you're going to eventually see each other. Their vehicles are just disgusting. I mean, the windshields are the only clear part of the whole vehicle. It's just full of ash.
that's terrible. I mean, usually when you go to Burning Man, they say just be warned that your car is going to be filled with just sand and dirt coming
Dirt
back
and dust.
from this Burning Man. So I
Yeah.
don't know. And I know that in the past there really hasn't been any performers. They just go there and entertain themselves. And
Yeah.
yes, I don't know. This must have been the first year that they were going to go there and perform or something, but I don't know. But I keep forgetting about the rib cook-off because
Oh.
I think I want to go to it. I
Oh, we
might
should
even
do it
just go.
together next year. I promise you, you will love it.
Oh my God, we need to do it. Yes, let's do
And
it
they
next
have,
year.
in addition to all good food, they have good shopping. They have vendors. So you can buy jewelry, and you can buy kettle corn, and you can buy, beautiful lawn jewelry. And I mean, it's a big event. It's really big. And I like to go early so that when people are getting crazy, like Monday, I'm at home. I like to go early because it's usually a 2-week process of them cooking ribs and serving them. So people have, you can vote because you've had enough time to taste as
Well,
many
can
ribs as
you
you want.
go the week before Labor Day, or is it just Labor Day weekend they're
It
serving it?
usually starts the week before because the vendors have to get there and set up, and they start cooking.
But
So
the
we
public
we should.
can't taste, right, until Labor Day, or they can.
Oh, no, you can start tasting from the minute they get it set up and they start cooking. You can taste.
Okay, got to think
Yeah,
about that for next year.
absolutely. We'll let you know what we decide to do.
Yes.
So, it's really funny. We have an event called the US Open in tennis. And I have to admit, when Serena and Venus were playing, I was all in because I mean, I just love to watch those girls play. And I never really tripped on the fact that it's the US Open. However, it's very seldom that the US um, professional tennis players actually make it to certain levels within the games. So I'm proud to share with you that for the quarterfinals, we had 5 US individuals, 3 young men and 2 young women. And they are just burning it up, right, Rosetta?
Yes, they are. There was the one gal that they compared to Serena Williams. Serena,
That's
was it?
Coco Gauff.
That's Coco Gauff. Yes, that's pretty amazing. And she's saying that she would never have thought that she would be in this position to
Yes,
be compared to Serena Williams, which is a huge
yes.
accomplishment for any tennis player. I mean,
Yeah, and
whether
she's only 19.
yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. So we've done very well for ourselves and we're excited. Yes, as Gloria said, 5 US people are going to tennis players are going to be advancing to the semifinals. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and follow them
Yeah.
and see how it plays out. But I'm excited.
Yes, I am too. And this morning, Ben Shelton advanced by beating Francis Tifo. And
Okay.
Francis is the one with the personality. He wants them to get into it. And Ben is the one where he's like, you're going to call somebody and he drops the phone. Young personalities. And, at first I was like, no, that's not very nice. Why are you doing that? But then when they went to center court, they hugged each other and they hugged it out. So I am inspired because like everyone's saying, these individuals are young, like 19. And I can't remember, Ben's very young too. I mean, I think he's like 18, 19 too. You know how many years of great tennis that will give us by having such a great talent. So I'm excited. And um I think, yeah, Coco has advanced to the semifinals. She went from the quarterfinals. Now she's in the semi, and we have to wait for the next young lady. She plays tonight, and if she gets to advance to the semifinals, this is getting even more exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So we had shared with you last week that we lost the legend Bob Barker, and this week they actually came out and gave the public a little bit more information because he was a very private man. No one knew what happened. So people have just been losing their minds because they're like, oh my God, what happened? Oh my God. Well, unfortunately, his passing was related to Alzheimer. He had a very quiet time at home with his family as he made his transition. And so I promise you, now that another legend has, made their transition associated with Alzheimer, you know, we will start to hear more and more things because his family took very good care of him very quietly. So Drew took over in his stead, and he was saying, people throw words like legend around a lot. He goes, however, Bob Barker was a true legend. So Rosetta and I had shared with you this wonderful baby giraffe with no markings was born. And they ran a contest to see what should they name the baby. Well, the baby has a name, right, Rosetta?
Yes, we told you, and I don't remember all the names because they were unusual names, but there was like 4 or 5 that you could choose from. And we wanted
Right.
to try and announce it last week, but we're trying to look for it. And it came from Tennessee. The zoo is called Bright Zoo.
Yes, Bright Zoo. And they just named the baby yesterday. That's why we couldn't find it.
Yes. And the name of the baby is Kipeki, is it? Is that correct?
Yes.
And I really wanted the other name, and I forget, it was called Uniquely Beautiful or something. That was the meaning of it. But I think
Yes. I
that
know it started with an S. Like, I know it started with an S.
yeah, I forget all the names, but at the moment I was like really excited. But anyway, they came up with a name, and the reason behind it is because it was easy for the children to pronounce. So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
a good simple name, and it means unique,
Yes.
which
Which the baby
is
is very
very
unique.
unique. So now the giraffe has a name, and it's so cute. I wish the zoo was right here so I can go and have a little look,
Yes.
because that would be
Yes.
amazing if it was like in the San Francisco Zoo or something.
Yes. The Oakland
Would
Zoo, where we could
Yeah.
just, even the San Diego Zoo would be good. Maybe
Yes.
they'll let the baby travel. That would
Yes.
be fun.
Yes, I would love it. But yeah, so
Yes.
they named it. And if you want to go and check out this lovely, cute little giraffe, go ahead. Again, Tennessee Bright Zoo.
There we go. So, Rosetta and I always talk about how things go from the top down. And I want you all to really hear us when we talk to you. The top has to be kind, loving, conscious, an educator, someone who cares more about the child than they care about themselves. So this week we found out that Ruby Frankie, she is a parenting influencer. She has 2.5 million followers. And she would say things like, about her kids. Well, until you do your homework, I'm not going to feed you. And people would think, oh, okay, that's funny, because I remember, when I was a kid, like if I had to do something like I was butter beans. I did not like butter beans. They cook and they got squishy. I was like, ugh. And my grandmother would tell me, well, you're going to eat those butter beans. And I'd go, no, ma'am. And she says, okay, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. And she would, make me sit at the table. And then when I wouldn't eat the butter beans, she'd let me go to bed. And I'd be like, whew, that was good. However, when I woke up the next morning, those butter beans were back on the table. So I learned when she said, you're going to eat those butter beans, you're going to eat those butter beans. Now, this mom, unfortunately, in her dialogue would say things like that, where she came across a little mean. Come to find out, she has been, allegedly, she has been kind of torturing her children. Her son escaped from her house, malnutrition. He begged the neighbors for food and water. He had remnants of duct tape on his ankles. His little wrists were all tattered. He said his sister was still in the house. So, of course, they called the police. They went in. I can't believe that you care more about followers than you do your own children.
Yeah, it's just, I don't really understand. I always say that there's people that act like that. There is mental instability. They're mentally unstable. If they can go as far as starving the children to the point they're malnourished. I mean, that doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while for the person to be malnourished. It's not like, oh, a week and you're malnourished. No. So that must have been going on for a very, very long time behind closed doors. And
Yes.
just think, as a parent, just thinking about it, I can't even fathom like doing any, I just can't. I feel just so disgusted just
Yeah.
thinking about what could have gone on behind closed doors and those poor children. And you're right, as Gloria said, we always talk about top down and how they're like, those children are now mentally and physically scarred for life.
Yes.
Really, the
Yes.
poor innocent children that were expected to, they were expecting the parents, because the parents were divorced, right? The dad didn't live with them. They
Right.
were mainly looked after by the mother. They're expecting the mother to mentor them, to guide them, to protect them, to make their house a safe and loving
Yes.
environment. And it was completely the opposite. So this is what we've heard, and we're not really sure what's going to happen, but we want to, stay on top of this because I really want to know what happens to the
Yes,
children. And obviously, I hope the mother does get, you know, um, some justice, right?
yes, yes.
So,
And she gets some help because there's definitely something wrong. I
right,
agree
right.
with you
And
wholeheartedly.
we're gonna keep on top of this and follow along as much as we can so that we can bring you more updates as to what's happened.
Yes. So Queen Bee is on tour. She is touring. She's in Los Angeles right now. And Monday was her 42nd birthday. And she was doing her little job. From what I hear, her concerts have just been mind blowing to the point that some people have gone 3 nights, every night in a row to see her.
Wow.
Chris Jenner is one person who has gone every night to see Queen Bee.
Wow.
Now she's doing her thing, and she's like, they decided they had a surprise for her. Diana Ross takes the stage, walks up to Queen Bee. You can see she's shocked. She starts singing happy birthday to her. She invites the audience to also sing happy birthday to her. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to happen. Diana Ross to sing to you. That's
And of
awesome.
all days, she's there on that day on her birthday.
Yes, that's just amazing. I mean, there's been, like Katy Perry, they started listing people's names. The who of who's is going to Beyonce's concerts. They say that they are, like we've been telling you a lot about Taylor Swift's concerts because, you know, um, she's got her Swifties and they're doing the friendship bracelets and they got all of that going on. And apparently Queen Bee and her beehives are doing the same thing. And the events have just been amazing, amazing.
Yeah, she was in the Bay Area last week, right?
Yes,
At the Levi
yes.
Stadium, and I didn't hear it. I don't know anyone that I know personally that went to the concert.
I don't either. I nobody. So I mean, it I think some of it is a lot of people are just in that little glitz and glow of the concert. So we are just so impressed. I mean, Queen Bee, you look amazing, girlfriend. You just keep knocking it out of the park. Great job.
Yeah.
So everywhere we turn now, somebody's going on strike. Strike, 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 strike. Well, the latest strike is what's known as the auto workers strike. And they are threatening to walk off the job. And, we all need cars. We need, them to build the cars. So what happened is the UAW union is demanding, now get this, a 46% raise for its workers, a 32-hour work week, and the return of traditional pensions. Now, the auto manufacturers who are mostly impacted by this, Ford, Jeep, and GM. And they think they're asking for a bit much. And I have to share with you, you want 46 more dollars, and I understand. Trust
Percent.
me. Yeah, 46% is a lot. And there's a lot going on where, if you haven't gotten a regular raise with the rate of inflation and the rate of cost of things, I hear you and I understand. I just didn't understand the 32-hour work week. It's like you want more money, but you want to work less hours. So I
Yeah,
didn't understand that part.
I don't understand that either. I don't know where that came from. Maybe they think that they've worked there long enough and they deserve it or something. I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, because I understand, even back when I was in corporate America working, um, most of us used to work an average of 10 hours a day. So when they said, if you want to, you can work a 4-hour work shift, we were all like gung ho. We were already working, a 50-hour work. This way, we would be able to shrink it down a little bit because we would get it all done in 4 days. It would give us a 3-day weekend. So, I mean, I can understand moving things around, I just think, wanting more money while cutting hours, that doesn't really balance out. And that could cause a little bit of negotiating. So our wishes is that they come to a good compromise, because with the writer's strike and the actor's strike, I'm fortunate that I'm new to Netflix, so I'm getting to see all kinds of new shows, and everything I watch
Yes, and
is
I've
just
been
like,
telling you different shows to watch, and you have way more to watch, and I haven't been bombarding you with a ton of shows.
yes,
Just
yes. Offline, you're gonna have to tell me some more, because I watched the one you told me. I just watched this little mini series called Painkillers. You should watch that. I
I've
mean,
not seen Painkiller.
you hear people talk about opioid addiction. They take you right into the middle of this pandemic of opioids, and it is, I mean, because when you think, oh, this person's, they're just abusing drugs, but when you take them from clean, good people into the drugs, and what the drugs do, and it's not just the individual, it's the whole family. So we hope the UAW will find a way to work with the manufacturers. Good luck to everyone. There's a prisoner that recently escaped in Pennsylvania.
Yep, it's amazing how he did that. And
Mm-hmm.
the prison, hopefully, the people that maintain the prison now see there's some opportunities that can come from this. Because in May, there was another prisoner who escaped, and he was caught within hours of escaping. But this prisoner that escaped recently, it's been 7 days now that he's at large and they're not able to find him. Although they've actually had
Wow.
people call in and say they've seen sightings of him and he's still around and he hasn't really changed his looks.
Right.
So so they're saying that there's something that they're not taking seriously, because the same way that the prisoner escaped in May, the same way that this current prisoner escaped. So, and the reason why we know how this person escaped is because the prisoner in May, he was captured within a few
Right.
hours. I'm sure he told someone. I'm sure he found, other people found out. That's how this prisoner recently who escaped found out how to escape. So
Right.
they hadn't really put any safety regulations in place. So now he's at large. And what's really sad is that there's schools around the area, and they're actually having to close down the schools for the sake of the children. So that's
Right.
really tough. I don't know if they're doing virtual learning, but it's
That's
it's
hard.
a pretty scary feeling to know that a prisoner has escaped, and my child has a school near that. I'm glad they closed down the schools, but we'll have to see what happens if and when they capture them. So we will keep you up to date as to what happens if this
Yes.
prisoner is captured. And I'm sure you've seen it on the news, but it's
Yes.
been over the news recently in the past couple of days. But it's in Pennsylvania, prison in Pennsylvania. So stay tuned,
And
and we will keep you abreast of everything.
absolutely. And everybody's got a camera at their house. And if you don't think they do, let me tell you, everybody's got a camera. And they show pictures of him walking through. He even still has on his prison attire, and they can't get him. So he's figured out some way to stay on the down low. However, everyone just stay alert. And if you see something, say something, and then he will be safely returned and away from the public.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, we would love for the opportunity to never say the words mass shooting again. We would love for the opportunity to not talk about gunfire or anything like that. Yet we want to make sure we do not become desensitized to the fact of guns. So over the weekend, a lady was walking around a lake. It's called Lake Merritt. It's well known here in Northern California. It's in Oakland, minding her own business, not messing with anybody, not doing anything. And she was shot, and she is in critical condition because there was a confrontation by some individuals, and she just got stuck in the middle. So we have to stay a little bit more alert. My son and his wife, they walk that lake on a regular. It scared me because I thought, oh my God, because it just said woman shot. They didn't give any details or anything like that. Luckily, she was out resting and she was nowhere at the lake at the time. It just gets you to think, though, if you can't just walk around a public lake to get your steps or do your exercise, that's really sad how our country is becoming.
Yeah, I'm just, I mean, you have to be careful. Make sure you, I mean, for your son and his wife to be walking around, it could be anyone. I mean, you could just
Yeah,
be walking normal day and all of a sudden something happens, just like this lady, and get shot or injured.
yeah,
I mean, it if it's like that, that just makes you feel paranoid that you don't want to go out. What if? The
yes,
what ifs come into
yes,
play. That's pretty scary to be in a society where you can't go out and enjoy your have a leisurely stroll out or walking on the lake because you're so fearful that something else like this would happen. It's pretty sad.
yes. Very sad, very sad. Another thing that we spend a lot of time talking about, and we don't want to desensitize ourselves because we want to be alert, and that has to do with global warming. The weather all over the world is having, major impacts. We all know about the fire in Maui. On a typical day, it would have been a little fire, the fire would have gotten put out, and that would have been the end of it. And what happened is they had 85-mile-per-hour winds. The winds just picked up and engulfed the whole town. And the loss of lives, I'm happy to tell you that they're not going higher. It's at 115, and it's been steady at that level for a whole week. So people in Maui, not in the areas of the fires, but in the surrounding areas of Maui where they were not impacted, they want us to come back. Their business is tourists, and they need the tourist industry to come back and embrace them. Kind, loving, supportive embrace. Don't go there acting out. Don't go there being mean or rude. Be there for the citizens of Maui and to help them rebuild and to recoup. So one of the great things is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Oprah Winfrey donated $10 million to start helping put money in the pockets of the people who were impacted to just try and help them out. And I know this is just the beginning. It's going to just continue to snowball to try and help them out. I tell you, I've never seen a community as sweet and as kind and as loving as they are. And I love the fact that even strangers to them are brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, grandma, grandpas, extended moms, extended dads. People sometimes get this thing in their head, well, if I wasn't born from you, you can't be my mom. And people need to get out of people's business. And that's what I love about Hawaii. It's all family, you know, it's all family, it's all love and kindness. And that's what's important. So I'm happy to report that they're doing well.
Yep, it's good to hear
Now,
that. And I didn't know this, but I'm very happy to hear that Oprah and Dwayne Johnson donated that much because they're going to need way more than that to rebuild. But another
yes,
thing to talk about going to Maui is that, yes, go to Maui because that's how they make their living and they want to welcome you, but don't go to Lahaina. They're saying that you can go to other parts, but not to Lahaina, to the part where the
right,
devastation actually happened because they're still
right,
in the midst of still clearing it up and trying to decipher what they're going to do with Lahaina itself and how to rebuild. But yeah,
yes,
I know some people that had booked to go to Maui and they were thinking of not going, like, well, I can't go now, so better
right.
not go. But I'm thinking of telling them, go. And, they want
Yes,
your money back.
go. Yes, they need your money.
Yes.
And the tree that
The banyan
I
tree.
can't, yes, it has life. It has little leaves on it now. So I've seen people hugging the tree, crying over the tree. So, the beauty of all of that is just, it's working. It's really well. So, just as a heads up, with all this weather, our beaches are now experiencing bacteria levels are higher than normal. Here in Northern California, where we are, there's a town called Pacific Grove. It's between Monterey and Carmel. Monterey and Carmel are infamous with, the beautiful aspects of California. I mean, the beach is right there. It's a touristy town. You see lots of people. It's just a
Monterey
fun place to go and
Aquarium,
hang out. Yes, yes, the planetarium is there. You
the
can go see
aquarium.
the aquarium is there. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. They actually put out an alert for people to get out of the water and stay out of the water because the bacterial levels were high. So when I saw that, I went and I looked, and right now there are beach closures in there are 4 beach closures in Michigan. There's 1 in Massachusetts. There are 5 in Maine, and they are all related to bacterial contamination. So even when you survive the hurricane, like Hurricane Alda, what happened is now Florida is also being, I guess you could say, warning Floridians to stay out of the water, because that's a lot of wind, a lot of water, a lot of movement. And when you have things like that, contaminations can just occur. And, if that wasn't enough, we also have the heat.
Yep, we have the heat. There's extremes, and there's like the heat. Like, look at Arizona. I don't know like how many days they went with triple digits, but Phoenix is gonna be 110 soon. And they're not, like Gloria said, it's not only just in the US, but it's also happening globally. And we see that Greece has been hit extremely hard by global
Yes,
warming. They actually had extreme heat, and now they're having a lot of flooding. And during the heat, the extreme heat killed 20 people, and now they're dealing with all
wow.
this flooding and just so they're going from one extreme to the other extreme. So what do we say? It just can't just be by coincidence this is all happening. This is all
Yeah,
man-made. So
yes,
I
yes,
mean, it seems like we talk about this every week and it's a broken record, but it's something that has to be brought up every week because we need to tell everyone because we may get some new
yeah,
people watching our chats. And we want to reiterate that global warming is something that we all need to take seriously. And we've actually, in our past chats, talked about things that we can do immediately that can help with global warming. I mean,
yes,
a lot of
yes,
damage has already been done, but please, for the sake of our children, we want them to grow up in a, safe environment, none of this global warming. So,
yes,
you can actually do your part by actually looking up what you can do, what things you can do right now to help. I mean, the damage is done, but it's never too late to start and look it up.
right,
And the first thing, well, one thing I can say is that all the cars are eventually probably going to switch to hybrid or electric, which I think is a really good way to reduce the carbon emission. And
right.
it's just crazy all the little things that add up and make global warming happen. So do your due diligence, do some research, and try and help the world and the environment.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better, because don't have a me, me, me. Think about your babies. Think about your babies' babies. Do you want them to have a terrifying world, or do you want them to have peace and harmony? I love this movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. 1 and 2 we've seen, and 3 they want to go back and connect with their roots, so they're going to Greece. So we're going to be seeing a lot about Greece when that movie is released. I think it's going to be an amazing,
Oh, I
you
can't wait
know
because that's on my bucket list. Greece is on my bucket list. And I really
mine
want to
too.
go to Mykonos and Santorini. I know that everybody
Yes,
talks about those two cities in Greece
right.
because it's very popular, but I've just seen amazing, amazing picturesque pictures, and I'd love to go and check them out. But I can't wait. That's very good that they're going to go back to Greece and shake it up a little bit
Yes.
instead of just having it in the same old, filmed in
Yes. The
the same
same
old
old
area.
houses.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
So
I'm
I'm
looking
looking
forward to
forward to
that.
seeing that. We both agree. So, as always, we like to give you a tip of the day. So, the makeup tip of the day is, you know how sometimes you're self-conscious. You're like, oh, I have tiny little lips. I want some big full lips. People will go out and they will get injections. I remember there's a movie Goldie Hawn is in, and she had lip injections, and they went from normal, and they were just protruding off of her face. It was just too funny. Yet a lot of women feel more comfortable. Now, there's a little trick that you can use. I have found that peppermint essential oil, you can rub that on your lips and that will plump them up. Essential oils are not bad for you. I actually put it in water just to help me, ingest more fluids, more clean fluids. And you can also take makeup and you can take a liner, or what I do is I have a brush and you can draw along the outside form of your lips. And that will actually fill them out and make them more so that you can see what's going on. So, what I do is I take like a darker color, and then, like, say, I want a burgundy color. I'll put that on the outside, and then I'll put like a paler pink on the inside. And that will also give you a natural pooch to your lips without having to worry about chemicals or anything like that. So, and during the season of 2023, the spring summer, which is about to end, it was all about burgundy, magenta, medium tone, yellows, trying to think, medium tone, orange, light orange, green, medium tone green, light blue, medium tone blues. And now that we're getting ready to head into the fall, winter, next week, I'll give you some more colors that you can use. Here in California, we don't have to stop just because it's a certain time of the year, because we still have summery weather. However, I want to make sure that if you do want to cycle, you can. But those colors were the New York Fashion Week colors. And coming up, they'll do New York Fashion Week for the fall. And there'll be more colors, which I'll share with you.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, Gloria. I love that tip about drawing around the lip. Seen that a lot
Yes.
of people do that, and it actually does. It really does work. So give it a try. Yeah.
Yes.
And my tip for the day, for health tip, is that since we've been talking about Bob Barker and he passed away from Alzheimer's, I want to talk about Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's is a lot to do with the brain and how your brain functions. And there are a lot of things that you can do. Now, don't think that you have that you it doesn't affect you when you're younger, because what happens is things that you do when you're younger, like as a child, are things that are going to help you live a long and healthy life. So you want to start these off when you're very young so that it becomes a lifestyle and you are actually doing it, because Alzheimer's and dementia. Alzheimer's is the umbrella, and dementia is a form of Alzheimer's. That happens later in life. That's why you see a lot of people being diagnosed with dementia when they're like 40s, 50s, or 60s, because this has been happening and building up since you were a child. And there's a lot of things that you can do to prevent the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia. And some of the things that you can do is the things that you ingest in your body. So I'm going to give you a few things. There's lots of things you can do, but just a few right now that you can take so you can prevent, and it will help with cognitive function and brain function. So number one, very important, is your omega-3 fatty acids. And those come from the foods that we eat, fish, in particular salmon. But if you are someone that doesn't get enough fish in your diet, then another way to get the omega-3s is to supplement, and to get that through a supplement. So omega-3s, we really need those fatty acids because it helps with our brain function, and it can help children as well, especially children who have symptoms of ADHD, ADD, autism, because a lot of things are going on with their brain. And because they're not fully developed until the age of 25, we can help change the chemical balance and balance the brain before they get to an adult. So we want omega 3s. And did you know, ladies, if you're pregnant, omega 3s is very good to reduce the risk of postpartum depression. So I just thought I'd throw that out.
Wow.
Walnuts is another great food to ingest because it has polyunsaturated fats, which is better than saturated fats. And it has something called alpha. I wrote this down because I always get this alpha linolenic acid, which is has anti-inflammatory effects and keeps the blood vessels healthy. So walnuts.
Nice.
And the third one is I'm going to talk about is dark chocolate. If you like chocolate,
You
dark
gotta love
chocolate,
that.
but it has to be pure dark chocolate, not the chocolate that's been added with a ton of sugars, a ton of artificial flavors out there. Not like you're not going to
Yeah.
run out to the shop and get a dark chocolate Reese's peanut butter. No, pure dark chocolate increases your blood flow and helps the brain with cognitive function. And I just want to stress that you want to eat at least 70% cacao, minimally 70% cacao or higher, because that's where you're going to get the most benefits. Because if it gets like, 65 and below, it becomes that's what you call semi sweet chocolate, if you've seen that for baking
Ah,
or stuff like that. So you want
yes.
minimally 70%. So those are just some of the things that you can ingest to help with cognitive function. But yeah, so start, parents, as soon as your child is young, as soon as you can.
Yes. And those are some very, very wise words. And my dear sweet friend knows that my mom had dementia and she passed away Sunday. And Rosetta has just been a wealth of information for me because just because you see something and you think it's good for you doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And we have lots of conversations offline about foods and nutrition. And when my mom was diagnosed, she told me about the fatty acid omegas and what that does, and walnuts, and we would make shakes for my mom and do whatever we could just to keep her mind as sharp as possible, because Alzheimer's is, and I'm sure Bob Barker's family know this, it's a very hard life, because you'll see your loved one and you'll say hi and they look at you and they go, when did you get here? And you're like, you just hugged me 5 seconds ago. But the memory is very, very short.
And
So if there are
sometimes,
things that you Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
And the last thing I wanted to say is, try not to be in a repetitive state. If get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you make your coffee, you have your breakfast, you watch TV, you read a book. No, flip it up. Do completely different things every day. Because like my mom loved game shows and we didn't really catch on when she would watch game shows for 10 hours. It was like, well, it's what she does. No. So just be aware of repetitive actions.
Yeah, exactly. You're very true. You're very correct. You're very true, I was going to say, but that doesn't sound right. You're correct in that, because they always say that when you want to keep your brain sharp, you want to start adding new things into your life. Learn something new. Do things
Yes.
that are new to you. Don't keep doing the same repetitive things, because your brain has already been accustomed to that. You want to open up your brain and make it alert. So they say the best thing
Yes.
is you can go dancing is the best thing, because one, you're using your brain, and two, you're being active. So that's a great
Yes.
thing to do. So go dancing and switch it up a bit. But that's my
Yes.
my tip, health tip of the
That's a
day.
great tip. That's a great tip. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we want you to know that we're grateful for the opportunity to share time with you. We feel the love in the room, even in our perspective rooms. And mwah, we send it back to you, bubbling up, running over.
Yes, thank you so much for checking out our chats. I hope you enjoyed our one today. And we would love for you, if you have any comments, to just put them in the description below, in the comments below. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear from you. And thank you everyone so much. If you liked our chat, don't forget, hit the thumb icon, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss
Ding,
any
ding,
of
ding,
our
ding, ding,
chats.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And remember
And
to,
remember to
always
always
keep smiling.
keep smiling.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.